Okay, we're not gonna start the meeting yet. We are waiting. Jody is 1 minute away. So we'll wait for her to get here. Come on. There she is.
Well, I haven't never good.
Because of the way, is that good?
Absolutely.
And matter of fact, you're right here at the end with us.
Yes. At the end?
Right here, yeah, anywhere.
I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. Keep it on, Mark.
Okay, I think we are going to start the meeting. Yay, we're very excited. Welcome all of you. We appreciate your coming to our November 13th, which is so hard to believe that we're already at November 13th. Seems like we just had the 4th of July. So I would like to call this meeting to order. And the first thing I want to do is let everyone know that Rocky is no longer a member of the board. He resigned, and has so much other work to do and committed to his construction business, etc. So we're sorry to lose him. But I understand that sometimes you have to move on. Okay, so Becky, would you do the roll call, please?
Yes, I will. Go to you, babe.
Yeah.
Crummery.
Here.
Or wait. Here. Sarah Spreader. Here. Nikki Law, I believe is on Zoom.
I'm on Zoom.
Hi,
Hi, guys.
Lizzie is with us. Yes.
Yeah.
Gail
Here.
and Mayor Graham.
We have a
We
quorum.
do have a quorum.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so we'll get started. The first thing is the approval of the consent agenda. Oh, go on.
And if I could add to this, because on consent agenda, you do not have the financials. I have to get those from Nick, and he has been out sick, and he's not back again yet today, so I'm sorry, I apologize. Can't manufacture that.
Board, any questions, comments?
There was one thing, the promotions committee minutes, stated 2029 instead of 2024. Which, I mean, I really just can't be that far ahead.
Maybe we'll plan her.
So yeah, that was my only thing that I noted, but everything else was good.
Had to be.
Yeah, I'm sure, I hope so. I need it to be.
Nothing, no changes, etc.
No, I'll make a motion to approve.
Excellent. Motion is passed. We'll accept the consent agenda. Okay, now to the public. Are there any comments regarding, oh, look at her. I can't even get it out of my mouth yet. Any questions regarding anything, any item that's not on the agenda?
I don't have a question.
You have a
Bonnie
comment?
Holt, River Springs Chamber. Most importantly, I want to introduce our new assistant director, Amy Millard.
Hi,
Joined us from the Mackinac City Chamber, where she was the executive director. She's full-time. We will work hand in hand. It's going to be great, and it'll be great for the city, the community, the chamber.
Welcome.
Thank you. We're really excited to have her. We're having a welcome reception this evening, if anyone would like to join, from 4 to 6 at the chamber. So that was one. I have to count them, so I make sure I don't. Want to remind everyone, ladies' night is this Saturday. And Amy will be out and about today handing out some of the flyers and gifts and things. If anybody has things for pickup.
I will at some point, not right now.
Your name's on the list.
But I will.
Okay, maybe?
Yes, yes.
Well, tell us
After this.
when, we can wait. It's okay.
Immediately after this meeting.
Really, we can wait. We don't need it till Friday.
No,
But,
I'll be at the store. I'll rest the day.
But anyway, so that's the other. The other is actually a question. We're putting together next year's calendar and trying to decide, because August is funky. The first Friday of August is August 1st. Trying to decide sidewalk sales. And you all honestly are the most important group. So the question is, the question is, we're looking at the weekend of the 22nd, which is not Labor Day weekend. We're looking at, do we switch it to Labor Day weekend and make it the weekend of the 29th? And maybe make it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We are completely flexible. There's been dissent on this topic for a long time. I don't think we'll ever have consensus, but I'd love to hear what you all have to say.
Okay, and if we could we come back to that? So that
Absolutely.
we
And
can kind of
even
all absorb it because it's.
together, on connecting,
What is your timeline to need to know?
I'd love to know. We're starting to put the calendar out there. Yeah, sooner rather than later. Let's put it that way. I mean, and it's sort of a people. When is your next meeting?
Well, let's talk about the promo committee.
Oh.
When's your next meeting?
Last month.
The last Tuesday of the month.
Last Tuesday of the
2 weeks.
month? 2 weeks?
Yeah. That would be, I mean, and even if, I don't know if we work together to reach out to the merchants. and
Right.
Right.
I've done questionnaires, I've done all kinds of things. No one has ever agreed,
Right.
but we're completely flexible. Yeah, let's throw the cards up in the air and.
If you could wait till the promotion committee at the end of the month, that will get you an answer.
Yeah, so, but I am looking at either the 22nd or 29th, those 2 weekends. I don't necessarily think before then.
I'm not gonna be here, so
Both of those
I'm
weekends?
not gonna be here for 4 weeks next summer. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
so we
the summer,
can-
I'm really anxious, I'm getting a lot of anxiety.
Sorry. Love you. Okay. I didn't mean to do that. But, all right, cool. Thank you very much.
Motion
That's it.
committee, we'll put that on their agenda.
If you
Make a
could,
recommendation.
one of the two, you could pop in, at the beginning of the promotion meeting, it starts at 11 a.m.
Send me into.
Are there any other comments from the public?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on, and this
Thank
is
you.
under old business. I'm going to turn this over to you, Becky.
Okay. So unfortunately, I received correspondence from John Cups, said he could not get started this year and could not fulfill his contract. He was going to try to be at the meeting this morning, but he is extremely behind and, trying to finish up projects by the end of the season. He has asked for a revised timeline, that will include a completion date of May 29th. 25. He may, depending on whether he is still able to start it this fall, and then depending on whether also maybe able to continue with some of the elements of it throughout the winter, but is pretty. I've talked with him, and I've also had 2 pieces of correspondence. I will say he's quite chagrined and quite disappointed in himself that he wasn't able to schedule better, and he apologizes and apologizes. But right now, we're faced with the fact that he didn't get started and he didn't get his completion date, obviously, if he didn't get started. And he's asking for a change order in his contract that would change the date to May 29th. And also there was some wording in the contract that he was not pleased with about the clarification of the pending decision on whether to replace or to repair the retaining wall. So OHM provided the change order and there's his apology in his first letter and the change order that includes the new language. So the request I have today is that the board approve this change order and we'll get him started as soon as he possibly can.
Well, I don't think we have a choice. We're not gonna find somebody else. I mean, I make a motion to make the change. I second it.
Any comments from the public?
Karen Onfield, at Birchwood, is there any change in price?
No,
Excellent. So I vote. I mean, yes or no?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, the motion to amend that contract is approved.
thank you.
You know,
The other piece of old business is I've been working on this board member orientation packet that was sent to you separately because it was so large. That we received 2 your packet information and then the board, the packet. And I would like to see if you had a chance to review it, and if you have any comments, any suggestions, any changes. I know Gail has sent me a list of 4 or 5 typos. There could be more than that in there. My intention with this, it's not page numbers now, because I still might want to move some things around. So my intention is to get it in that formatted order. Part of me is thinking it should be a printed piece, but I don't want to spend a lot of money on that because there will be changes in it, so it'll have to be printed, reprinted every year. So probably get some hard copies and have it electronically as well, and have every board member have it so that we can refer back to it if ever needed. We'll probably review it as a group. And then whenever we have a new board member, that will be their orientation, and that will be the thing that Gail and I will sit down and talk to them and let them know this is how we operate, these are our rules. So I would really like your input, and then I would like you to approve that this is what you see fit to be our orientation package.
I do have one comment, and it has to do with we have it listed under job description. And I'd like to see that change to expectations. Because to me, our job description really ties to our mission statement. So, and that being that, you know, we need to impact economic growth in Harbor Springs. So it ties back to that. To me, the items that are on our job description are really, they are really how we execute. And that makes it an expectation instead of a job description. And otherwise it looks, you know, as an old in many ways trainer. I mean, I liked it. It's not so detailed that you can't deviate a little bit, but that's my only change, Eric.
Yeah, I thought it was very well put together. Very, very well. I have a couple of typos too, but maybe Gail, I'm sure Gail's already cut them, but I'll get with you. At one time you referred to the DMV.
That one's that's okay.
I knew what your head was.
It's page 18 in the number of pages of the PDF. I have that written down.
I have done that, but I've caught myself.
Yeah.
I've also
That's fine.
signed City Petoskey. Thank you.
And there's one where you use a semicolon. And then it says, did you catch that one?
No.
No, I didn't get that.
And then it says, and that's on page 17, when it says special meetings to the public. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that was a note to me. Special meetings to the public with agenda. And I know that we always give a 24-hour notice, but do we always post the agenda is what I was concerned.
Okay, let me check on that.
And then the other one's page 16. Bear with me for 1 second here. Well, I'll let you know
Yeah,
after
we'll
the,
do that.
The only other thing that I had on my list was the mayor's term expires in 2026.
oh yes, it had 2020.
28 on it. It's a 2-year term, not a 4-year term.
Okay.
Not to rip you apart or anything, but they're small these guys.
But besides that, when I joined the DDA, I was given a printout packet. It included all of our bylaws. But that might be it.
I think that was.
And it was just the bylaws, and that was it. So this is basically like a very nice expanded version, which, you know, I kept having to interrupt and saying, you know, I don't know what the merchant's walkway is. I don't know what all these topics that were happening, and trying to get some backstory on them, just kind of like how when Chuck started recently, he was doing the same. So I think that it's a really nice introduction, and yes, it will have to be updated as we move forward and do new projects, but whoever is new, I think would be great for our new mayor to be able to get up to speed on everything that's going on that we're working on. It's just a really nice piece of information to have, really nice packet, very well done.
Well, but I think it's essential. If you think back to when we had the DDA 101 training, it was recommended there.
And I think it's
So,
perfect.
We also, this was just more and more pages, but I'll also be putting this in, which is the open meetings act handbook. it's an abbreviated version, so,
Yeah.
but that will go in the back as well. That we look at.
And I can, just one second, and Becky, thank you so much for taking the time to put this together, because as Cora said, even when I joined 8 years ago, I don't think I really got a whole lot of anything. So this was really great and will be really nice for us to be able to update every year. And I think an electronic version of that would be super helpful. So we can just file it away. And if anybody wants a hard copy, they can print it themselves. But this, I know this took a lot of time and it was really well done. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
Any comments from the public? Okay, excellent. Okay, move to
I'll make a motion to approve it. I think it's wonderful.
Second.
second, okay. The motion to approve the orientation packet is approved.
I'll make a motion.
I made a motion.
Oh.
You made a motion?
Yeah, second.
She made a motion.
Seconded.
No, that was the other one.
Okay, vote
Yes.
for this.
Yes.
Yes, excellent.
Yes.
Now the motion is approved.
Okay, thank you.
Uh,
We did not have any new business this month, so we're going to the next.
Okay, next is the Downtown Promotions Committee report. Margaret.
No, not me.
Jody.
Oh,
You're on the committee with us.
We have a lot of people here too. We have to sit up and be straight. We had a great promotions meeting, lots of ideas flying back and forth. We discussed the Small Business Saturday, which was fairly important to Chuck. I don't know if this has ever benefited you two, as far as, you know, the American Express promotion, shop small.
It's a toss up.
It's a toss-up?
All my years,
Yeah.
like since what, 2012 that I've been in retail, it has been a toss up.
Well,
It's a hit or miss,
yeah, either way, we're gonna promote it, and
which I think is great.
did you send out that logo?
I have not, I will do that today.
Oh,
Well, we could just, but yes, we have a beautiful logo that, Sarah's husband designed,
okay.
and we'll have, well, I'm stepping on here.
No,
It'll be in an ad in the paper.
no offense, I assumed it was Danny, but, yeah. We will take an ad out for that, just as a reminder, and that should also be a great shopping day, that it's, tree lighting, so we will have more people in town for that.
We'll email it to the merchants, because then they can just use it if you have social media posts.
Yes,
Like,
you can have a copy by.
Oh, yes, please make sure we get it, we'll share it in our social media and the newsletter. But we get reached out to by American Express. And they offer us things we're happy to, I mean, like they send us stickers and things like that. That we're happy to distribute to the community, and please just, Becky, we're happy to help any way we can. We do get communication.
I used to get a lot more tchotchke from them, but in recent years, they cut back on that.
A bit, yeah, we get a ton of stickers. I mean, that's like,
Oh, okay.
So, it does include the American Express logo and a downtown logo that was designed. We will start promoting this on December 15th, and we would hope the chamber would as well, and if any of you would just share it. Please, Harbor Springs community.
When?
I think
November.
November 5th, America.
November.
What did I say?
December.
Oh, I'm so sorry, November 15th. And,
Yes,
so
it's a Saturday.
Kathy, if you would
is,
share that as well on Harbor.
day after
Springs
Black
community,
Friday.
That'd be great. I will send it to our marketing director to make sure that he is promoting that as well for us. Visits from Santa, we had a long discussion about having potentially a Santa, maybe twice the month of December. And we looked at all 4 dates, and we looked at the Santa that's now available and nothing fit in there for different reasons. One of them was the parade in Petoskey. We didn't want to take away from that, and then we probably wouldn't have a lot of visitors. So we're going to table that and look again potentially for next year. He was also booked at Kilwins the other days, so there's a lack of Santas around here. Social media consultant draft contract. I think Becky is probably looking for a motion to proceed forward today with that. Are we?
I don't think we really need that. It's
We don't,
in
that was in the.
Yeah.
Okay, so the promotion committee recommends that we move forward with the social media. We also discussed potential oversight or overview of the website. And we decided that we would wait a little bit, see how the social media firm's working for us, and then potentially have them do just an overhaul.
If you guys need holiday updates, just feel free to send them over, like, or
Yeah,
end of the year updates, and I can get a bunch of stuff updated if you want me to.
when are we actually bringing them on board?
Not until January 1st. It's not a budget until then.
Oh, okay, all right. So if anything, if we all need anything updated, or perhaps Bonnie, Ms. Cora is the webmaster till the first
I
of the
haven't
year,
looked at it.
and then she loses her job. No, I'm just kidding.
Perfect. Disappointed.
I know, I'm sure she's very, very disappointed. Chuck was asked to expand on the ideas he expressed about promoting businesses that are open year round. And also to talk about the strategic, which is in the strategic plan for the RRC. Promotional calendar, which we will be working on, and I have all of I was tasked with very easy printing up the events for the chamber. So if we look continuously at adding an event someplace here, we want to make sure obviously we're avoiding, or we can talk to Bonnie about adding on to the event that may already be there. So we would like to have we'd like to have a calendar. And then I guess we should probably look at, how many calendars are out there? How many people produce a calendar? Is that
I have no idea, probably a bajillion, but, I feel like people are coming more and more to ours, which is great. We can't, on our website, we can have everything that a member's doing. That's the other piece. And we had this conversation before. We can only have on our website, on the calendar, member events, which you all are, which DDA is, that's not an issue. But we can't for like a business that's not a member.
right?
That printed one, we do have non-chamber events, but traditionally larger things, or a downtown, like we try to make sure we have parks and recreation stuff on there.
Right.
So
As long as it's all related to downtown in the CBD,
yeah,
then we're good.
we'll get it added to that, and
And then I'd like to see, maybe we get a copy of the 2025 while you're working on it. So you'll be waiting for us to finish your 2025,
yeah,
correct?
it's
Okay, the shopping directory listings. I know that is Gail's job.
And Cora's out of hers, I'm out of mine. Yeah.
So we have talked about providing some necessary businesses like in uptown that we don't have in downtown and offering it to them for a fee. And I think we voted on that one, proceeding forward on that one. And I asked for a list of promotion committee responsibilities. And so beginning in 2025, we will take a list here and we will talk about promotions within the DDA. And hopefully the promotions committee will be able to add a couple you know, we did have a couple this year that were, you know, even just downtown day and keep the focus on downtown. Trick or treat event, we held that. I think that's just something that kind of happens organically, but I know that Becky ran out and she delivered 68 flyers to all the businesses. Thank you, thank you. Press releases to the Harbor Light and the skeletons in 2025, which we will be creating a phenomenal mansion in front of where the tree is gonna be. All skeletons. So that's all I have for the promotions committee, unless anybody has any questions. Reminder, it is the mission of the Harbor Springs DDA Promotions Committee to provide community events and marketing activities that enhance the image of the downtown community and promote downtown business. If you have a question? Did I miss something?
Can I just add that there was a short discussion at least about the retreat next year and that maybe we wanted to make it into, when we'll have to be doing, talking to merchants and surveying, maybe what we want, because everybody's in school, there were so few trick or treaters, maybe it's not at the right time, maybe it should be something that we could build up a little bit. So when you talk to people, think about that.
But I think they do let them out for school.
For the
Oh,
parade,
Come
they
up with a
do.
parade.
But they don't trick
And
or treat.
the-
Sorry.
Non-school age.
Got it, got it. Okay, that's all I have for the promotions today.
Any comments from the public?
Thank you for the notes, Becky.
Hey, Jenny. So I guess I drove into Bay Harbor one day and they had a bunch of flags on all the street posts and it had a corporate sponsor on it. And I thought to myself, you know, what's happened to Bay Harbor? Have they, you know, gone corporate? So this Amex idea must have been going on for a long time, Corey said. And with the chamber as well. But I'm wondering by putting the Amex on our logo, the Harbor Springs logo, what is Amex giving to the city, you know, for this kind of collaboration? And then the second thing I'm curious about is, can't we get Santa somewhere into Harbor Springs? We work harder on having Santa come.
Santa comes on that day. The Lyric does a matinee, and then Santa arrives on the fire truck on the 30th.
Great,
So that's all part of that day. Yeah,
okay,
that's when we used to have the reindeer,
yeah,
if you recall.
Yeah.
We can't get those anymore. We're still working on doing that again someday to make that day more robust, but Santa does. So that's, yeah.
And then if I can comment as far as the American Express, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe Jody can help me with this, but I'm pretty positive that the shop small, the reason why we have that event is because it was an American Express push. That was created by American Express for businesses that took American Express to focus on them shopping and spending money locally. So it's not necessarily that American Express is giving us anything as much as we're the businesses and communities that participate in Shop Small Saturday, is because that was an American Express marketing event that businesses have kind of picked up on. So that's kind of where that whole hashtag has kind of come from, if I'm not mistaken. And the businesses and communities just kind of capitalize on that from their push.
And the consumer is the one that gets, I don't know if it's double points, but they get something.
Yeah. So the
So-
consumers and the businesses, I believe on that day, if I'm not mistaken, our fees are lower for people that use American Express on that day. So that wasn't necessarily created by us as a community, but it was created by the credit card company for businesses to participate in.
Correct.
And then a clarification on my part is that I knew nothing about American Express having anything to do with this. I'm referring to Small Business Saturday as I've been in retail, and Small Business Saturday always follows after Black Friday. And I had no idea that that has anything to do with American Express, but I think that's amazing that they lower our fees and that people get extra points. I think that's kind of a cool incentive from a large corporation to, especially to help small businesses that, you know, do get charged more higher fees for American Express.
And I don't think this is anything that's new.
Yeah, no, I
It's
have no
something-
clue about that. The American
Yeah.
Express, I mean, I've always promoted it across all my platforms of, you know, trying to get people to shop local, shop small, especially after people want to go to the big box stores and get all the huge deals and do all the Black Friday junk. So.
Becky, you have a
I
comment?
guess I would just say that what American Express gives us is national recognition of shop local. And push it to everyone who's got a card, they get information on it, and they made this day, and we're the benefactors of it.
Thank you, Karen.
Yep.
Thanks
Any
for the
other
question, because
questions?
I'm happy to have the clarification as well.
Thanks, Nikki.
Question. So the Parks Department is interested again this year. I know we've discussed helping with Ice Fest for like the hot dogs at the park. The Parks Board met last night and one of our members brought up inviting the DDA to participate in Fall Fest in some fashion.
Sure.
Whether like it's an event or helping, you know, us get sponsors, things like that, since the DDA has those connections in the community for sponsorships already.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, so just something to mull over while you look at your 2025 plan, to keep Fall Fest in mind.
And Fall Fest is always
Just Saturday of October at 11.
the what?
At 11 a.m. To 2.
I don't know, Rachel, I don't see myself standing on top of that mound of hay bale.
No,
You can eat donuts.
That would work.
So I have a great picture for next year's promotion and social media of Rachel standing on top of all of the hay bales, so that'll be a good one. So any other questions on the promotions committee?
Thank you, guys.
No, thank you.
Okay, Margaret, now you're up.
Now I will.
This is the Downtown Enhancement Committee report.
So we met with, Anna, this last meeting. She gave us a wonderful, very thorough PowerPoint of, ideas about, tree placement. We talked about, the potential of, in the future, getting irrigation to the trees and a power line so that we don't have to hang wires when we do the holiday lighting. To remove some trees so that we don't have quite as many and make it a little more consistent with all the sizes of the tree beds are different, so we talked about that. I did not get a copy of that, by the way. You were gonna send me a copy, some things. Okay. So that was very informative. We've been trying to work on, so we're not using the underneath the trees for flowers. We're trying to figure out how to hang some flowers, similar to what they do in Charlevoix off of the existing lamp posts. And then on the corners, maybe putting in flower pots, which are year-round, lifelong guaranteed. You only have to water every couple of weeks, kind of flower pots. So that we've got a bid for that, and that's all in the process. We talked about beautification versus streetscape plan. So beautification would just be involving the tree grates, the trash cans, the bike racks, and flowers. Primarily what we would try to get done would probably be flowers and trash cans and bicycle racks. There's one other thing, trash cans, bicycle racks, benches. So that's something we're working on to get done for this coming summer, along with the flowers. So that, and Gail's working on part of that. Well, we're all working on different parts of this. And Cora's working on some of the lighting options that we might have to put better lighting in. We did a walk around, talked about our walk around and all the different spots that we
recognized in town that could use a little cleaning up or freshening up or doing something to do a little landscaping. We talked about art. There's down on Third Street especially, there's some big utility poles that have well, they're not utility, they're utility boxes that have no cover on them and they don't look very attractive. When you're looking down from Main Street to Third Street, you just see a bunch of meters and stuff. So we're talking about maybe making that into a box and painting it or something so that it looks better and it doesn't just look like there's nothing down on Third Street. And we talked about just art in general throughout the like murals and things like that, which the city plan is very much in favor of that. We talked about what else? I guess that's what we were dealing with, and we just did updates of what the last few meetings have consisted. Am I forgetting anything?
No, I think
I
you
don't think so.
covered it.
It's been a long time, beautification of streetscape and
Yeah.
clarifying questions and best practices throughout cities and comparing other cities and making sure that we want to be a nice looking city, but we don't want to look like anyone else because we are unique.
Question, comment? Sure.
I know, I was just gonna say, you had written facade grants. Did you talk about that and I missed it?
The facades?
Facade grants,
Oh, no,
potentially?
I did not.
Okay.
I think I brought those up to the committee just
Right.
because.
Yeah,
We
we just,
discussed
They
it.
were, they had been mentioned in the strategic plan. We won't be able to do anything about that this year. It's not in the budget. But we should be thinking about public art and facade grants as they are in the strategic plan that's out there right now.
Great.
I love the public art. I love that idea. I think that would be great.
it's a very touchy subject because everyone's idea, being an art dealer for all my life, everyone's idea of what good art is.
It's very different.
You tell your stories.
Yeah, so,
But
yeah.
we should look into it.
Absolutely.
so I guess that concludes what I have to say.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Any comments from the public? No. Excellent. Okay, Becky. Director's report, please.
Okay, I've been talking about the information that is required by the DDA Act, state DDA Act. And I've spoken with the state. You have to report 2 times a year. And I have heard directly from the state that if I give a report to the DDA in December and also the city council in December, that will count. And I've kind of waited on this because being new and not being, I didn't have a lot of things to report, so I wanted to wait as long as I could. So I'm working on that report. We'll have it here next month and it will be at city council on the 16th. And that's when we invite the other people that participate to the TIF. We invite them to the meeting, so it's open and transparent what we're doing with capture that we have. I'm making my reports shorter, as you can see up here, but we have other people doing things now to report. So I did have the second half of my ride around with Lucas. He had taken me half in the spring and half in the fall. The things I learned were amazing about the community and the things I saw that I don't normally see. So very, very worthwhile. Before I get to the MDA, I wanted to remind you that the economic development strategy, there's a survey on the website. And Victor asked me I'm going to blast it out to all of the merchants in downtown so they can take it, but you should all be aware of it and take the survey as well. I had another note that I forgot to mention when we were doing the orientation packet, and I'm glad that Kathy is here today because I want you to know that the last part that's in there is the history of downtown, which I could not have written. So I asked Kathy if she wouldn't mind trying to put something together. And I mean, I think I emailed her at 9 o'clock at night and by 5 in the morning. And it's excellent. She did a great job in writing it. It's invaluable. That information should always be kept. And I was so grateful to her for going to thank her publicly for doing that. She's retired. Apparently. And then it was in a place I couldn't get it and I had to ask her for it again. And I don't know. Great job. Thank you. And then last week I did go to the Michigan Downtown Association annual conference in Ann Arbor. It's always good to get away. It's much better to get back, and back exhausted too, because what we learned was we had, we had a keynote, speaker about the development of the Michigan Central Railroad in Detroit. Fascinating. We had an introduction to real estate development, great marketing, seminar that I went to. I also was a leader of a roundtable in, information about downtown gift certificates. So we're quite well attended as people moved around the room. Went to 2 different sessions from SHPO, State Historic Preservation Office. Attended a session on the strategic planning from MEDC, volunteer and board management, business retention and recruitment, a good one on revenue sharing. Mishta had a session there on the new housing TIF that is available. And at the very last session of the day, we had 20 for 20, which was a session on 20 things that downtown directors can do for their merchants coming from a merchant. And the merchant just happened to be Jennifer Shorter from Grandpa Shorter's. And she's just getting involved in that kind of speaking type thing. She did a great job. I was real proud of her to be able to do that. Networking, like, there's nothing like being with your peers. That was very, very beneficial. And I'm again elected to the executive committee of the MDA board, and my role is as past chair. So as long as the current chair stays, I'll probably be the past chair. That gets me in on the inside of a lot of things and helps with planning. And then the last thing I wanted to tell you was I sent out the message about snow removal, sidewalk snow removal, and I got at least 4 positive responses. And in my experience, positive responses are gold. I mean, and very genuine. Thank you so much for doing something, and I think it will be invaluable. I got nothing critical. So, and as far as sidewalk snow removal goes, to get nothing critical is also amazing. So I guess that's my report.
That's a great report. Thank you. Any public comments? No? Excellent. Okay, board members, any comments?
Oh, no. As Kathy wrote in her history of the DDA about how in 2011, a few of us went to a placemaking meeting. And so here we are in 2024, 13 years later. And everybody says it takes a long time for things to really kind of come to fruition. But our different groups within the city, the chamber, the DDA, obviously the city of Harbor Springs, police department, in my opinion, and city council, of course, have never worked together so well. In my opinion, I don't know, Kathy, if you can agree, and Bonnie, I think it's delightful to me that in 2011, we kind of just had a vision of what does placemaking mean? And it seems like we're all taking part in the concept, even if we don't understand 100% exactly what placemaking means or the variations and definitions of it. But I'm thrilled to be on the DDA at a time like this when this is finally all coming together. And we have a lot of passionate people in all of those realms that I just talked about. It's a positive thing. Very positive.
My only comment is something we had talked about when we did our walk around, is about some of the wires that we were saying on 3rd Street. And in passing, I had a conversation with Tim Knapp, who used to be on this board, and he said that he had spoken many times with the city about a lot of those wires, and apparently they're like AT&T and Spectrum wires that are not in use.
Well, this is what I know about that. I just yesterday received a phone number of someone at Spectrum that I can
Okay.
contact.
No, and that's fine. I was gonna say if we want to put it on for our next enhancement committee meeting to discuss it, or if we needed to do
Hopefully I'll have an
anything.
update for you.
Okay, perfect. I just didn't know if we could do anything. I think that's, hard. it's hard when companies just do that, you know, people switch their company all the time, people just leave everything that's left there. I mean, I'm sure had that at our houses. I had 2 satellite dishes that were at a house that I moved into at one point that were neither of them were in use. So.
Nothing bugs me like wires that I can see. so.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I mean, I think that anything we can do to clean up any of the wires that like that especially aren't in use, it's just pain in the butt. It's not nice to look at. So.
Any other comments? Anyone? Wow, okay. 15 minutes to spare. The meeting is adjourned. For another day.
You all. You all. I know.